What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Battle for the Bridge 2025, one of the largest pre-modern events we've actually ever had in the Pacific Northwest. So without further ado, let's dive into the deck list because this is round 6 and this is the last chance before top 8. Well, if we're talking about decks that want to be doing well in a tournament like this, we have to be talking about Blue Stiflenought, and that's exactly what Fernando has brought. This does have a little bit of spice from your traditional Stiflenought, and the fact that Parallax Tide is actually in the main here instead of in the side. He's also running stuff like Fairy Conclaves and Force Spikes and even some Quicksands. Very interesting tech. Also 4 Mishra's Factories. The deck does still run the 4 of Stifle, but does not actually run Vision Charms, instead opting for a 4 Chain of Vapor to help combo better with Parallax Tide. Some other spice here is 2 of Powder Keg in the main, and because he's running so few islands, actually not running any Dazes, Gushes, or Foils. Also just going to call out only 3 Dreadnoughts in the main. So definitely splitting plans here from a blue Tide control list and a Dreadnought list, trying to play the best of both worlds, it seems. Obviously it's been doing well for him so far, and I guess I should probably talk about the sideboard too, even though it is a little hard to read. Scrolling through, it looks like he's got 2 Teferi's Responses, 3 Annuls, 1 Phyrexian Furnace, 1 Dominate, 2 Hibernations, 4 Hydroblasts, 1 Tormod's Crypt, and 1 Misdirection. Really interesting list. I'm excited to see how it plays out. But before that, who's he playing against? Next up is Jack T returning to the camera with red-green. I'm going to call them Poached Elves. It's not quite Angry Elves. I mean, there's an anger in the deck, but it's got a little more spice than that. At first glance, this does look like your typical stock red-green elves. You're really only playing 1 mountain for your 1-of copy of Anger. You also have a Squee, Goblin the Bob, and generally those are your only 2 red sources. However, he is also running Goblin Sharpshooter in the main. You are a toolbox deck, and you do have Survival of the Fittest, so maybe getting a little edge on a lot of the creature decks we've seen by playing that main. The deck also runs a 1-of Druid Lyrist in the main, which has kind of fallen out of favor instead of Antuco Vigilante, which he does actually have one, and just running more enchantment and artifact removal on the sideboard. There is the traditional 1-of Yavimaya Granger to help you go find that mountain, 4 Priest of Titanias, 4 Fintorns, 4 Lanoirs. You got your survivals, you got 3 Deranged Hermit, which are relevant and I'll get to in a second, and 1 Kamal, which is an endgame finisher, as well as a 1-of Mastigore, which is also a bit of an endgame finisher against more creature based decks. But the real spice I want to talk about is the Skyshroud Poacher, the whole reason behind naming this deck Poached Elves. Now it's similar to Survival of the Fittest in that it does find you toolbox elves, specifically only elves. However, it is different in that it puts it directly on the field, which means you can go find your Deranged Hermits and play them for 3 mana. Notably, Skyshroud Poacher itself is not an elf, which is relevant basically just for Priest of Titania and Wirewood Symbiote, in that you're not able to protect it or gain mana from it, but overall a really cool include, and I hope we get to see Skyshroud do its thing. In the sideboard, he's running 3 Tormod's Crypts, 4 Naturalize, 1 Well-Wisher, 1 Call of the Claw, 4 Call of the Herd, the 2nd Masticore, and a 1-of Genesis. Overall, a really cool list. We got to see it do its thing a little bit in, I think it was round 1 that he was on camera, but I'm excited to see it here, so let's get into the games. And here we go. Fernando is on the left, Jack is on the right. Now I do think elves have the advantage in this matchup, although Fernando does have some board wipes in the main with those 2 powder kegs. Looks like we're getting a decision on who's going first here. Now granted, those powder kegs do have to ramp up, as it were, so it does give Jack the opportunity to respond. He has several ways to do that in the main deck, and it looks like Fernando has Dreadnought in hand. Does he have the rest of the combo? Looks like he is going to mulligan, so we're going to cut to when he has a keepable hand. Alright, Fernando looking for a keepable 6 here. Jack did keep his 7. Now, I did call out in the deck tech that Fernando is not running the full Dreadnought combo, and that he's not running Vision Charms. He just has Stifles for his 3 Dreadnoughts, and he is going to be mulliganing again. So we'll cut to when he hopefully has a keepable 5. And looking for that keepable 5 here. I'm not exactly sure what a keepable 5 looks like for this deck. Again, it is a bit of a hybrid. It has Parallax main. Looks like he was considering putting a Dust Bowl back. That's one. What else do you got? Got to put two. Alright, gotta bottom those two. And is he on the play here? Looks like maybe not. Looks like there's also a little dip in that playmat, making the dice a little difficult to see. But yes, we'll be on the play here. Gonna lead off with a Fairy Conclave and pass. Jack gonna have a Forest and no turn one play from Jack. Very unusual for an elf deck. Island go here from Fernando. Alright, there's a Priest of Titania, which will get mana leaked. And a Quicksand. Sack that. Target creature gets -2, -1, I believe. Yeah, Jack gonna give that a quick read too. Here is a Priest of Titania, which will get counterspelled this time. And I hope Fernando remembers to pay the one for... Oh wait, no. That's Fairy Conclave. I was thinking it was a Dark Art Waste for some reason. Totally fine. Fairy Conclave taps for blue. That Wirewood Symbiote does actually stick here. So, quick draw go from Fernando and back to Jack. There's the Yavimaya Granger. Does get to go find a land of his choice, basic land. Probably finding the mountain at this point. Does enter tapped. That is the one reason really to play that card. It does have an echo cost, which he can obviously bounce with the Wirewood Symbiote before he has to pay that, so this is a way for him to ramp out. One of the reasons why this is a bit of a tougher matchup for Fernando. He's trying to win through a Parallax Tide portion of the deck at least, is that elves just make so much mana they really don't care about their lands after they get out the elves. Okay, looks like we got a Flash of Insight, a Fairy Conclave. I think that's a Dust Bowl. Mana Leak. I'm not actually sure what the fourth card is. Yeah, I'm actually not sure what that is. Oh, Chain of Vapor. Okay. Alright, looks like Flash of Insight, Mana Leak in one, Chain of Vapor, Fairy Conclave, and actually that might be a Mishra's Factory instead of a Dust Bowl. Yeah, looks like he'll be taking that one. Makes sense. Manland is one of the ways that Fernando is looking to bring home the gold, as it were. Let's say go after that. Oh, that was on Jackson step, sorry. So gonna play out the Conclave for turn, and then say go. Not swinging in with the other Fairy Conclave, wanted to leave up some mana. And Jack on Fernando's end step, bouncing the Yavimaya Granger there. That was what that quick untap tap was. Remembering he wanted to not pay the 3-mana echo cost to keep it on the battlefield. Okay, there's a Survival of the Fittest. A Flash of Insight here for, looks like 4. So Fernando getting a look at the top 4 cards of his deck. Just to put one into hand. None of which are a counter spell, which I think is what he was digging for. Is that another Chain of Vapor? Might be. Rest go on the bottom. Technically in a random order, but this early on I don't think it's going to matter. I have definitely Flash of Insight for my almost entire deck. Which then it's mind bending. How do you arrange those top 20 cards to actually be relevant? But that survival will resolve, so Jack now having free reign to start to pop off. But instead is just going to cast the Priest of Titania, not activating survival, saying you didn't have a counter for survival, so what's the chance? Counter my Priest, the third one. Gonna swing in with the Wirewood Symbiote. And there's an Impulse there from Fernando. I've been saying Fernando. I'm not sure which one's correct. I'm sure one of those is, but doing my best here. Again, I was not at this tournament, which is also one of the reasons why the footage looks a little bit different than what you guys would be normally used to. This was captured by the event organizer and sent to me very graciously, so I do appreciate that, guys. Always happy to shed light on Premodern events here in the Pacific Northwest. Again, this was one of the largest, if not the largest, we've had so far. Although I have to say the Portland Monthly is starting to catch up. We're in the 30s. I think there was 40 competitors here, which was great. They raised over $2K for charity, which is amazing. Love to see it. Okay, we're gonna get a manland out here for Fernando. Mishra's Factory, good blocker. And probably just saying go. Got 2 Chain of Vapors that I can see. Maybe a Parallax Tide. Not super relevant here. Again, once you start getting an elf out. Okay, there's a Chain of Vapor on the Priest of Titania. But the trick here is now Jack has a mountain on the field. He just needs to get Anger in the graveyard, which I see a red card in his hand. If that's either Anger or Squee, we're going to just start using the chain. Tough to tell what that was. That was actually the one red card you didn't want to see, the Goblin Sharpshooter, but accurately recognizing it's not relevant in this matchup. He's going to go get Anger. Going to pitch Anger. Probably go get Squee. Or even just another Mandork actually would probably be relevant. Firewood Symbiote would also be not a bad idea. Firewood Symbiote actually, especially if he doesn't have another land drop, would help this chain on a bit. Okay, there's the Landwar Elves. Tap the Landwar Elves, tap the mountain, play the priest. Seeing if it resolves first, I guess. Looks like it does. Now, for now, it could just be waiting for the priest. That is the real threat here. Okay, priest hits the field. Is that countered? Yeah, so he does actually have the Parallax Tide. Looks like he does have a Stifle too. Okay, priest resolves. Tap that for 2. In response, going to stifle that trigger. Or not. I'm actually not sure if you can stifle a mana ability. I don't think you can. I'm sure someone in the comments will know, but it's also like an old enough card that might not be relevant. Okay, we are going to stifle the... Oh, Chain of Vapor. Okay, in response, Chain of Vapor, the survival. Alright, getting a Curing Ranger here.
I'm just happy I got to Stern Prospector or Proctor. Finally, yeah. Something.
Yeah, okay, so Stifle does have the errata mana abilities, cannot be targeted. I had to look that up to make sure. Good for Jack for knowing that. It does make sense. Newer cards, obviously, that built in. So he still has 1 green floating. He can play the Curing Ranger. Not sure what's... Oh, okay. I think maybe... Yeah, I'm actually not sure what's going on here.
We get to do the fun thing. Oh, do the fun thing. Combat first. Okay. 13.
Okay, gonna get a priest.
I get to bounce the rats, and I get to play the rats.
Wanting that specific priest. And I'm looking through his sideboard, looking at those hibernations. Alright. Yeah, plays out the Kyrian, can bounce the forest to untap the Landwar Elves, then yeah, play the forest for turn, play out the priest, now has access to 3 mana. And while he doesn't have a ton of creatures in hand, can start... Oh, okay, looks like Fernando's just going to scoop it up there, and we're going to game number 2. Hasted Elves are tough to deal with. Fernando recognizing that he doesn't actually have enough interaction in hand to stop what was going to be coming probably next turn for lethal, I'd imagine. So just scooping it up and going into game number 2. Smart. You're playing a more control deck like this Parallax Tide Dreadnought list. I mean, you can win very quickly with Dreadnought, but alright. Looks like things are off to the races here. Jack does find his turn 1 mana dork. Just a couple of island goes here for Fernando, but does have counter magic up. There's a Kyrian Ranger there for Jack. Not playing out a forest yet. That will get counterspelled. Okay, there's the second forest. Tap for 2. Right, survival, very smart. Getting that out early. Fernando not really having a way to deal with it other than bouncing it with a chain and then hoping that he can eventually counterspell it. And Jack with a ton of creatures in hand. Gonna play out an elf. Play out a priest. Does not have anger or mountain this turn, so that is relevant. There's an AK. I think I missed the AKs in the main deck. Also a difference from traditional elves. Alright, there's a powder keg. Now, does he have counterspell? He has a stifle. He could stifle a trigger. Ooh, there's a cradle. That's a huge draw from Jack. Alright, 2 Multani's Acolyte. They draw a card. Does get a forest. Not super relevant here. But has access to a lot of mana here. 6 mana so far. Gonna stay... Okay, activating survival. Wonder if he was gonna stay mana neutral to play out the elf, but eventually you need to start getting squee and anger. Now, I'm not sure if he's got the mana quite... Okay, gonna pitch squee. You go get anger and then go get Multani to get your mountain. Bit more mana to do that, I think. You get Wirewood Symbiote first. The Lions and Elves are one of the main reasons why I never play it competitively. I love the deck. It's really fun. The Lions make my mind hurt a bit. But Jack does have a grip full of creatures. His opponent hasn't countered anything yet. And we know he doesn't actually have a counterspell. He just has a stifle here. So choosing what to stifle is going to be the question for Fernando. Now you have to consider that Powder Keg on 1 is very dangerous. Okay, we're going to bounce the Multani to untap the Priestess Titania. I'm going to play it out again. Draw another card. Still have 1 green floating. You can go get another Wirewood Symbiote. Start the chain again. Even a Kyrian Ranger actually would be okay here, as he hasn't the land for turn. Okay, we're gonna make 4. Does find an anger. Spend 1, pitch the anger. Are we getting the Multani? Or not the Multani, the guy that goes and finds you a mountain. I'm blanking on my name. I've said it like 3 times this game. Okay, no. We're getting another symbiote. So at this point, We're getting fairly close to elves just being a problem. Alright, we're going to untap the priest, bounce the Multani. Yeah, my Granger, that's the one that searches. I knew I'd think of it. Alright, Multani draws a card. Now, is that a call I heard? That is coming in from the sideboard from Jack. Very interesting. Alright, 4 floating. Can't pitch call to her to survival, so we're kind of coming up on the end of the survival lines. Pitch in a priest. Do we get the Almaya Granger here? Yeah, that symbiote was already used. Making sure he's still got creatures to search for. I thought that was the Granger. Maybe he's not going for that. Got the Nantuko Vigilante too. Doesn't have the mana to use it currently though. I mean, you could get another Wirewood symbiote here. Okay, he's gonna play out the Granger. You can get a symbiote, bounce the Acolyte one more time, have 5 mana, pitch the Acolyte, but we are gonna go for the Granger here, get the Mountain. Everything has haste. Now, all those untapped creatures can swing in. He does not have any more mana. He can play a land for turn still, I believe. He does have that forest. So he could go... Oh, he also has the Cradle. I forgot about the Cradle. Cradle making so much mana here. Cannot pitch... Oh, he's casting it. Okay. I think he's casting it and also flashing it back. This is also another way to get under the Power Keg. Power Keg only cares about the current toughness. Or current CMC, I should say. Okay, so he's got 2 elephants. That's what the Cradle is for. This turn went so long, I forgot he drew the Cradle. And we're swinging in for a good 10, looks like. Before that happens, gonna crack... Or maybe after it happens? No, before it happens. Okay, gonna crack the Powder Keg. So only taking 4 there, I believe. Those Mandorks were already tapped, so I hope that wasn't counted for the 6, but it looks like it might have been. I don't know if it matters though. Powder Keg was like the one hit here. Toronto doesn't have interaction in hand. Yeah, it's just going to reveal it, and that's going to be game. Jack taken down in a very convincing 2-0. Thanks to all you guys for making it this far as well. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribing to the channel is one of the best ways to support what I'm doing, and liking lets YouTube know that this is a video worth watching. Commenting also helps if you want to comment on your favorite elf. I'd love to see it. Personally, mine is going to be Elvish Warrior. It's a not great elf. It's a 2 green for a 2/3. No abilities, but growing up I loved the art, and it was in my very first deck, which happened to be Black Green Elves. If you'd like to support what I'm doing and you've been subscribed to the channel for a while, consider joining that Patreon. There is a Patreon only member section of my Discord where I talk through deck ideas, video ideas, especially for Patreon members only. You get a little sneak peek at what I'm working on. It's a lot of fun. You should check it out. I also want to call out all the wonderful patrons displayed on screen right now. These are all my current Patreons, and you are all amazing. Thank you for helping me make all these videos. Money from the Patreon goes towards gear upgrades, travel expenses to go to other cities, and just helping me make higher and higher quality videos. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you next time.